Greetings Keyforgers, we are back with our second Prophetic Visions deck from our display and we are going to crack it open today. That way is fine. We have a yellow Archon, I believe our Amber Skies was yellow as well. We have Logos Untamed, oh is that twice? And their Shadows. The Loving Reeve of Greychamber. Let's have a look. Bottom card coming out. Reference card coming out, turning over, and here are our prophecies. We have the second mouse. At the end of your opponent's turn, if they have less amber in their pool than you, fulfill the second mouse. That's a nice one. On the other side we have, a very nice one, ask again later. Each time your opponent chooses their active house, they must name a house on your identity card. Reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card does not match the named house, fulfill ask again later. Very nice. Tails you lose. At the end of your turn, you may flip tails you lose. During your opponent's turn, after your opponent plays a creature adjacent to a creature belonging to a different house, fulfill tails you lose. And on the other side, we have forge ahead with confidence. During your opponent's turn, after your opponent forges a key, fulfill forge ahead with confidence. Prophecy's pretty good in this deck. We are starting out with Untamed. Warfalin, 3 power. Play after fight. Shuffle the top 5 cards of a discard pile into their owner's deck. Rat Pixie, 2 power. Play after Reap. If you have 4 amber or fewer, gain 1 amber. A second Rat Pixie. Mog, 4 power. Play, deal 4 damage to each creature with power 5 or higher. Fate, stun each friendly creature with power 5 or higher. Flary, 1 power. At the start of your turn, gain 1 amber. Chonk Evermore is an action. You get an amber when you play it. Play, you may give 2 creatures a +1 power counter. Double the number of +1 power counters on each creature. Fate, give each enemy creature 2 +1 power counters. A second Chonk Evermore, this one with a damage enhancement. Loyal Packmate, 6 power with Taunt. Enemy creatures cannot be used to fight friendly creatures unless the friendly creature has Taunt. Lithomancy is an artifact. Action, reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card belongs to the active house, discard it and gain 2 amber. Crystalline Harvest is an action. It's got a damage enhancement. Play, for the remainder of the turn, gain 1 amber each time you play an action card, including this one. Fate, for the remainder of the turn, lose 1 amber each time you play an action card. Scout is an action. You get an amber when you play it. For the remainder of the turn, up to 2 friendly creatures gain skirmish. Fight with those creatures 1 at a time. Jervy, 3 power elusive. After Reap, search your deck for a card and put it into your hand. Scrap, archive a card from your discard pile. Moving on to Shadows, and we have a Legacy here. The set symbol next to the card number there. Old Bruno, 3 power elusive. Play, capture 3 amber. Predatory Lending is an action. You get an amber when you play it. Play, exalt and enrage an enemy creature. Fate, pay your opponent 1 amber for each enemy Shadows creature. A second Predatory Lending. Miasma is an action. You get an amber when you play it. Play, your opponent skips the forge a key step during their next turn. Hoodwink is an action. Play, reveal your hand. For each non-Shadows card revealed this way, steal 1 amber. Purge Hoodwink. Fool Guy, 2 power with Taunt. Destroyed, steal 1 amber. A second Fool Guy. Burnished Nickels, 2 power, elusive. It put 3 damage enhancements in the deck. Destroyed, return another creature to its owner's hand. Bandit Culver, 2 power elusive, and it put a Shadows enhancement in the deck. After you discard a Shadows card, if it is the first time you have discarded a Shadows card this turn, steal 1 amber. Merkins, 2 power, with a Logos enhancement. Play, choose a random card in your opponent's archives or the top card of your opponent's deck. Play that card as if it were yours. Cover Fire is an action. Play, your opponent loses half their amber, rounding down, steal 1 amber. Bone Rot Venom is an upgrade. You get an amber when you play it. After this creature is used, deal 2 damage to it. On to Logos now. It's ZYX Researcher, 2 power with a Shadows enhancement. Play, archive the top card of your deck or the top card of your discard pile. Wormhole Technician, 3 power. After Reap, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a Logos card, play it. Otherwise, archive it. Reassembly Required. It's an action, you get an amber when you play it. Play, put a creature into its owner's archives. Fate, discard your archives. Hazard Zerp, 2 power with a damage enhancement. Play, deal 3 damage to a creature. If that creature is destroyed, draw a card. Scrap, discard a card, deal 3 damage to a creature. Emetrius Darn, 2 power and elusive. After Reap, archive the top 2 cards of your deck. Digitalia, 2 power. It's put a Logos enhancement in the deck. After Reap, draw a card for each of Digitalia's Logos neighbours. Cutthroat Research is an action. You get an amber when you play it. Play, steal 2 amber if your opponent has 8 amber or more. Zeph Punch Yardus, 4 power. After Reap, archive the top card of your deck and the top card of your discard pile. Unity Prism is an action. Alpha, play. For the remainder of the turn, you may play cards from any house. You cannot play more than 4 cards this turn, including this one. Scrap, reveal your hand, gain 1 amber for each house represented in it. A second Unity Prism. Candle Unit, 5 power, 1 armor. After an enemy creature reaps, draw a card. Action, capture 1 amber. Psychic Bug, 2 power. You get an amber when you play it. Play, and after Reap, look at your opponent's hands. That's a nice deck. Let's take a closer look. Here are the Fate cards in the deck along with the Prophecies. I was hoping to get more Fate effects because we had really good Prophecies. Anything that can activate at the start of your opponent's turn before they do anything is a good Prophecy, and you really want to put good Fates underneath. Forge ahead with confidence. During your opponent's turn, after your opponent forges a key, fulfill Forge ahead with confidence. If you know your opponent's going to forge, you know this Prophecy is going to go off. So that's a good one. The other one is Ask Again Later. It's not a guarantee, but because it happens when they choose a house, there's a chance it will go off at the beginning of their turn. Now, this card, Ask Again Later, is also very good for distracting and slowing down the thought process of your opponent, because they have to take time away from what they're thinking they're going to do on their turn to try and work out what house they need to call. You get people picking up your discard pile. They're looking at the cards you have in play. They're starting to count to try and guess it. And it's taking energy away from what it is they want to do. So it's a nice mind game. But again, the likelihood is that if it goes off at the start of the turn. Tails you lose. If an opponent plays a creature adjacent to a creature belonging to a different house, the good thing about Tails you lose is if you think that's never going to happen, you can flip it. And the fact that we've got the Forge Ahead with confidence on the other side means you can always lay it like that. Your opponent might play around it. If on your turn they're going to forge a key at the start of their turn, flip it. So you know it's definitely going to go off. It's a very nice combination to have. The second mouse at the end of your opponent's turn, if they have less amber in their pool than you, fulfill the second mouse. So most of the time you want to look for fates that are going to have an effect at the start or the end of the turn. Now, if we look at Mog, stun each friendly creature with power 5 or higher. If your opponent has creatures with power 5 or higher, you want that happening at the start of the turn, usually. Chonk Evermore, give each enemy creature 2 +1 power counters. Our creatures are going to be the enemy creatures if the prophecy fulfills. Having it trigger at the start of your opponent's turn might decide whether they fight into our creatures or not, but it's still beneficial if it happens at the end. Crystalline Harvest is one that you want to trigger at the start of your opponent's turn, because it says, Fate, for the remainder of the turn, lose 1 amber each time you play an action card. That's definitely one we want at the start. Reassembly required. You want this one to trigger before they take their archives into their hand. Now a person will call their house and then they decide whether they're going to take their archives or not. So ask again later is a nice one to put this under, along with forge ahead with confidence. If your opponent's got an archive, they discard it. If it's ask again later, they've already chosen their house. So if they were choosing that house because they had a big archives from cards of that house, it's a big bonus. Predatory lending. Pay your opponent 1 amber for each enemy shadows creature. Again, if you can get this to fire at the start of their turn, they don't have a chance to take the shadows creatures off of you. So fating this one after you've had a shadows turn when you've played a lot of shadows, very effective. Let's have a look at the rest of the deck. Let's get straight into it with amber control. We saw the crystalline harvest. We'll also see the crystalline harvest in expected amber as well. Purely because for the remainder of the turn, gain 1 amber each time you play an action card, including this one, is the play effect. We had the candle unit, action capture 1, and after an enemy creature reaps, draw a card. So you could also put it under efficiency, but your opponent tends to either kill it or play around it on that one. The lovely cutthroat research that tends to work once every blue moon. And then, would you be surprised if I said there are 9 cards in shadows that deal with amber control? Because there are. We have the 2 Fall Guys. Taunt, Destroyed, Steal 1. Those 2 predatory lendings. You could also probably put it under creature control because it's Exalt and enrage an enemy creature. We had Bandit Culver. This card is nuts. Not only is it elusive and it puts a house enhancement in the deck, but when a shadows card is discarded, and that is discarded from your hand, if it is the first time you have discarded a shadows card this turn, steal 1. It will activate if your opponent forces you to discard cards. If you have multiples of them on the board, it becomes awesome. We had our Legacy Old Bruno, 3 power elusive, capture 3. And then 3 of the highlights of the Shadows House, we had the Miasma. Your opponent skips their Forger Key step during their next turn. We had the Covering Fire, which is a ridiculous card. Play, your opponent loses half their amber, rounding down. And then after that, you steal 1 amber. And if that wasn't good enough, we also have Hoodwink. Play, reveal your hand. For each non-shadows card revealed this way, steal 1 amber and then you purge Hoodwink. We have amber control in the deck. It's fantastic. It is in 1 house, and if we get locked out of that house, we're a little bit in trouble, but we have it. Expected amber. Any Exalt or Steal can be taken as expected amber, but apart from that, we didn't have much. Lithomancy. Reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card belongs to the active house, discard it and gain 2 amber. It works very nicely with this prophecy here. So each time your opponent chooses the active house, they must name a house on your identity card and then reveal the top card of your deck. So at the start of your turn, unless you've been forced to shuffle or put cards on top, in which case you would know anyway, you're going to know what card is on top and you could call this without worrying about it. The other generation was in Untamed, and it was the 2 Rat Pixies. Play, and after reap, if you have 4 amber or fewer, gain 1. There was no artifact control in the deck. We did have creature control though. Bone Rot Venom in Shadows. After this creature is used, deal 2 damage to it. Burnished Nickels. Elusive. It put 3 of those damage enhancements in our deck, but destroyed, return another creature to its owner's hand. If it's destroyed on your turn, you can return another creature to its owner's hand. If it's destroyed on your opponent's turn, it's their choice. Reassembly required. The play effect of put a creature into its owner's archives. One of my favourite Logos cards, Hazard Zerp. Play, deal 3 damage to a creature. If that creature is destroyed, draw a card. So it's direct damage, possible efficiency, and you've got a creature on the board, and this one has a damage enhancement as well. Mog. The play effect of deal 4 damage to each creature with power 5 or higher. We only have the candle unit in this deck. So you are absolutely fine to play this, to top deck it. You're not even going to kill your candle unit if you do it. There is a chance that we may increase some of our creatures to 5 power or higher with the Chonk Evermores, so we have to be careful about that. We have the Scout for the remainder of the turn. Up to 2 friendly creatures gain skirmish, and then we fight with those creatures one at a time. That's an out of house cheat for 2 creatures to fight and no damage to be taken. It's a great card. And I just realised I didn't do the breakdown. So, there were 13 actions, 21 creatures, 1 artifact and 1 upgrade with 10 printed amber. We had 3 damage enhancements, 1 shadows, house enhancement. Now we can move on to efficiency. 2 unity prisms. 1 is great, 2 is awesome. I only have 1 on the deck with 2 in. They're alpha, so they have to be the first things you play on your turn, and they will mean that you can only play 3 other cards. You can use all other cards in play, but you can only play 3 cards, but they can come from any house. The great thing about Unity Prism is it breaks the first turn rule. If you have Unity Prism, or Unity Prisms in this case, in your deck, you are probably going to want a mulligan for them. Because turn 1 you play Unity Prism, and then you get to play 3 other cards in your hand. As long as they don't have alpha on them, you're absolutely away turn 1. Digitalia. After Reap, draw a card for each of Digitalia's Logos neighbours. That's a potential 1 amber, draw 2. Zeph. After Reap, archive the top card of your deck and the top card of your discard pile. You want to try and time that one nice. ZYX Researcher. Play, archive the top card of your deck or the top card of your discard pile. Again, if you time it right, it's a nice discard archive, or a random archive from the top of your deck, or maybe not a random archive from the top of your deck if someone attempted Ask Again Later, and you would know. It's also got a Shadows House enhancement, so it's a little bit more utility there. One of my favourite cards and one of my opponent's most hated cards during France VT is Ametreus Dawn. 2 power elusive. After Reap, archive the top 2 cards of your deck. When I do my France VT video, you'll know and understand why people hate me playing Ametreus Dawn. Wormhole Technician. After Reap, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a Logos card, play it. Otherwise, archive it. Again, we might get lucky with the Ask Again Later. We'll be able to know. And then Jervy. 3 power elusive. After Reap, search your deck for a card and put it into your hand. That is insane. Absolutely insane. And the mind games you could play with your opponent. You say, okay, I'm going to Reap, I'm going to search my deck for a card, and then you fate it straight away. They will put a lot of energy into trying to figure out what you just fated. Recursion and Disruption, I guess. We had the Warfalin. Shuffle the top 5 cards of a discard pile into its owner's deck. One of my favourite cards in this set that has returned is Merkins. Choose a random card in your opponent's archives or the top card of your opponent's deck. Play that card as if it were yours. If you're playing Archon, it's safer to do the opponent's top card of the deck because you know what's in there. Archives, sometimes you might know what someone archives. If you're playing Geistoid, you're guaranteed to hit almost a Junk Restoration or somewhere in here. Having it being in Logos is, again, very, very versatile. Other cards, Psychic Bug. Play it after Reap, look at your opponent's hand, and you get an amber for it. That is one of the most insane cards I think I've ever seen printed. You look at your opponent's hand. You know what you're safe to play. You know probably what they're going to do on their next turn. Loyal Packmate to protect our battle line. Flurry, a nice amber at the start of our turn. It could put us onto check for our key. And like we spoke about, those 2 Chonk Evermores just to beef up our creatures. But be careful, especially if we're going to play the Mog. It's a very nice deck. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to take it for a run on the Crucible. But all that remains for me to say is good luck, have fun, keep forging.